So we're outside with the collars today. We'll be covering the SpotOn and the Halo. There's a lot of chickens out here, so you'll have to excuse all the clucking and the happiness. And of course, this is Aries. And there's Athena over there, if you can see her. Go, 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 go. But basically we're covering the Halo and the SpotOn, and these are two smart collars. And smart collars are, if you're familiar with a smart home, they're fantastic. They come with a lot of different benefits as far as, you know, keeping your dogs inside of a boundary, even if you don't have a physical boundary. Like I have a physical fence, but my dogs are capable of jumping over physical fences. So even a 6-foot privacy fence won't stop a Doberman. So the benefits of it are keeping your dogs contained, training your dogs, which is always beneficial, and locating your dogs in the event that they escape. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but it's entirely possible, and that's what the collars are for. This particular focus is going to be on the Halo and SpotOn, the Halo 3rd generation and the SpotOn 2nd generation. I know there are a lot of other smart collars out there, but the Halo 3 collar and the SpotOn collar are the premium go-to smart collars on the market today. Nothing comes close to having all the features that these two offer. So we want to focus on those, especially because there's a lot of information to cover, especially if you're looking at, you know, getting one or the other of them. These are not cheap collars, and go. He won't give up. These are not cheap collars, so obviously you want to make the best decision and the most informed decision that you can before you make such a purchase. Hope says hi. Now, before we get started on either the Halo or the SpotOn, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and feel free to comment. Whenever you comment, I always take the time to check every day, or at least every other day, basically depending on how busy I am. But I always make an effort to get on there and check the comments and answer any questions and concerns you may have. We also have a lot of different products coming up that we're going to review, go over, do overviews, give you the data on them, give you our breakdown, what we think about it. So if you subscribe, like, that helps us expand the channel and bring you the information that you need. Now first, we'll start off with the SpotOn. Now, being a smart collar, it comes with a lot of different smart features. Start off with, you get virtual fences. You could create 1,500 fence posts anywhere you want to, any location, multiple locations if you want to. I have SpotOn virtual fences set up in Tennessee. I have some set up right down the road at my fiance's dad's house. I have some set up right here, right in my own yard. Overlapping fences, you could create 20 total with 1,500 fence posts, if that makes sense. So you can make a really, really large virtual fence or a really tiny virtual fence, or you can make a whole bunch of them. Whatever floats your boat. SpotOn comes with different zones. You got your home zone, you got your keep out zone. Now your home zone is obviously when your dog comes from the outside inside the house. That's your home zone. And your keep out zones are zones that you can create within your virtual fence. So let's say you set up a virtual fence that covers the area in your backyard, and you have a shed or a garden that you want your dog to stay out of. You can create another keep out zone just to encompass that shed or garden to keep your dog out. You've got step-by-step training instructions that come with the app. Both collars, but specifically the SpotOn here, come with their own app, and they have a load of features on each one. And the SpotOn specifically has step-by-step training instructions that walk you through the whole process of setting up the collar to begin with, which is actually really, really simple. And then after you walk through the process, you get the step-by-step guide for your dogs, training them, getting them used to the virtual fence system, whether you have physical fencing or not. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have physical fencing and I still use the virtual fencing system because I have two lazy Dobermans down here that are sleeping out of view, and they can both jump a 6-foot privacy fence if they want to. SpotOn also comes with instant alerts. It lacks activity tracking, but the instant alerts you get with the SpotOn will cover things like your dog creeping into the caution zone. You know, there's a yellow and there's a red zone, and then there's your perimeter virtual fence. Once they cross into the yellow zone, they get a warning and you get a notification alert, instant alerts. The SpotOn also comes with something I really appreciate, which is forest mode. Forest mode is what you use if you have a heavy tree canopy over your yard, wherever you're building your virtual fence. If you have a lot of trees in that area and it's completely covering your yard, or even if it's covering it to a degree, using the forest mode sharpens that GPS signal so you get a little more precision in there as far as keeping track of your dogs when you can't physically, you know, like an app would normally look at a wide open area where you can see everything. Obviously you can't see through the tree canopy, but you've got this forest mode which gives you a little more precision, a little more accuracy as far as just keeping track of your dog in the backyard. It's a rechargeable collar. I'll be honest with you, they generally advertise 22 to 24 hours between charges. You're going to be charging it every night. Dog wears it all day, just like a regular collar, no big deal. At nighttime, you pop it off, throw it in its little tray, which we'll show you later how all that works. Throw it in its little tray, charge it overnight. And you don't even really need to charge it overnight because 1 or 2 hours will give you 100% battery. It's also very portable. Like I said earlier, you can take it to multiple locations. You can set up virtual fencing just about anywhere you like. You can have one at your house, you can have one at your neighbor's house, anywhere you take your dogs. So it's very, very portable, and obviously the collar goes with them and the app goes with you on your smartphone. So what are the pros and cons of the SpotOn? Well, to me, there's multiple pros and cons. And it's the same way with the Halo, which we'll cover here in a minute as well. But I like the flexibility in setting up your boundaries. Like I mentioned earlier, you can take the SpotOn just about anywhere you want. The app is much more functional in terms of moving around your fence posts, overlapping your fence posts, throwing in a keep out zone, setting up forest mode. All of that stuff is just really flexible. It's easy. You can take the collar anywhere you want to. You can set up virtual fences anywhere you want to, as long as you keep it below that 20 count limit. It's very, very accurate on its location tracking. Now, the only bad thing about the SpotOn, and this is kind of a con, even though I'm not listing it in my cons, is you do have to have a subscription if you want to use the location tracking. Like if your dog gets outside the fence, you will have to have a subscription in order to use the location tracking feature to find your dog. As long as your dog stays in the yard, you can use all the benefits of the collar that you want. Another pro is that the user-friendly interface. I love the interface on this app. Everything's really simple and intuitive, and like I said, when you're setting up your fence posts and you're drawing out your virtual fencing and everything, it's real simple. It's very responsive to your touch commands. Everything is in bullet points. Everything is labeled well. Everything is just from the beginning to the very end. Everything is in order, organized, and the app is just incredibly user-friendly. As far as the cons, the SpotOn does not include activity tracking, and basically what that is like the Halo will let you know how often your dog sits down and rests in the backyard, how often your dog gets up and runs around, how many times your dog attempts to cross over the boundary, how many emergency alerts. It keeps all of that stuff in graphs. This collar, the SpotOn collar, does not do the activity tracking. So to me, that's my only con for it, other than the one I just mentioned about the subscription, because that may or may not be a con depending on what you want to do with the collar. Naturally, the primary competitor to the SpotOn smart collar is going to be the Halo. Now, this is the only other collar on the market that even approaches the SpotOn in terms of capability and features. So what are some of the key features for the Halo? The smart fences are the obvious one. Like the SpotOn, you can create up to 20. And the Halo, also like the SpotOn, covers a wide area. We're talking hundreds of acres here. But you're a little more limited on your fence posts. So you've got a limitation on the back end and a little more size in terms of real estate coverage that you can cover with the Halo, even though both collars will cover hundreds of acres. The Halo features what is called a natural guidance. And now the natural guidance is one of the, like you normally have your beeps and your whistles and your static corrections and your vibration. Now all of that exists on the Halo collar, but what you can also do is record your own voice and use Cesar Millan, since this is a Cesar Millan product. He's got some automated voice recordings on there to kind of naturally bring your dog back to safety, because who does your dog respond to better than your own voice rather than a stranger's voice? It also has precision GPS. They use the satellite coverage, Wi-Fi coverage, Bluetooth, and universal cell coverage. It's all-terrain, so it doesn't matter where you are, it will work in that area. You've got active GPS antenna built in. If you watch it when you're creating your fences and everything, or when you're calibrating your collar, you will actually see it updating behind you about once every second or so. That's how fast it is as far as, you know, precision and catching up to you when you're calibrating it and when your dog's outside on the move. It comes in a variety of different colors. That's something you don't get with the SpotOn collar, the Halo. It has this fabric that goes over the collar with Velcro, and you can buy a bunch of different fabrics. I think they have pink, orange, maybe a red in there. There's a couple of them, and well, there's more than a couple of them, but there's definitely some different colors for you to choose from, you know, whatever suits your dog's personality. It's got the perfect fit technology, which we'll cover here in a little bit as well, but basically it's, you fit the collar to your dog and then you have all this excess material. You can cut that material off, and it comes with the tools that you need to clamp a new end cap onto that cut piece so that it looks like it was never cut, just like you got the collar out of the box. It's got a ton of different training programs. These training programs are one of the best things I like about the Halo collar, because they're all video. Well, a lot of them are video training programs, and they walk you through everything from a visual standpoint. If you're like me, you're a visual learner, you like to see these things, and the app itself is just full of these training points. They've got detailed text breakdowns of everything that you need to do as far as setting a collar up or training your dog, videos that you can watch, and you can even call customer service and do a video conference with them to, you know, answer any questions that you have or work on training your dog. So what are some of the pros and cons of the Halo collar? Well, they're a bit different from the SpotOn. And now a lot of things that the Halo and the SpotOn do are very similar. Now obviously they're both smart collars, and they're both designed to keep your dogs in your backyard or your front yard. They're designed to do location tracking if need be. So most of those things are the same. They generally charge, you know, at the same rate, and they have a battery that lasts 20 to 24 hours. I would say more along the lines of 21 to 23 with both of them, just kind of depending on how much you drain it each day. The pros of the collar I like, the Halo collar, are the comprehensive safety features, and that's because of all the built-in stuff, you know, with the natural feedback that your dog gets from your own voice, all the little pre-recorded customizable feedback stuff. And actually the customizable feedback makes up my second pro. You really have a lot of leeway as far as how you want your dog, or what you want your dog to hear whenever it crosses into the boundary. You want whistles, you want little bell sounds, you want Caesar Milan commands, you want to record your own commands. You have a lot of versatility there, and I really like that. And it's something that the SpotOn collar doesn't have. The con that I had with the SpotOn collar is a pro with this one, and it's the detailed activity tracking that you get with the Halo 3. Just about everything your dog does outside, runs and plays, lays down, relaxes, crosses the boundary, crosses into the emergency area, leaves the fence, everything is recorded, and it's basically graphed out for you on a simple bar graph that you can check each and every day. And that's what the activity tracking is. All of your dog's activities outdoors are recorded for you, and it breaks them down, you know, individually so that you can see what's going on at all times. As far as cons, the biggest con I have with the Halo collar is that you have to have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription, your Halo collar is a pretty collar that's kind of thick that you can put on your dog, and that's it. You know, or you could use it as a paperweight at your desk if, you know, you've got wind in your room. Anyway, subscription model, you gotta have it. Fortunately, it's pretty cheap. I pay for the bronze plan, it's $5.95, and we covered that earlier in the, or we're gonna cover that later on in the video as far as the subscription plans for both. But the subscription plan that I use for this is just to get that extra little bit of location tracking, and obviously to have an operable collar, and it's $5.95 a month, which isn't bad. And you can do a yearly, or you can do a 2-year subscription model where you pay everything for the entire year, for the entire 2 years up front. The other con I have with this is, and this one's a little more difficult to explain, the Halo collar does not have a forest mode. So this might not be a con for me if I didn't live here. My backyard is completely covered 100% with a thick oak tree canopy, and the GPS is accurate through that tree canopy, so I don't really need the forest mode for that. But the collar has a difficult time telling when my dog's coming inside. And a lot of times, you know, especially when I first set things up and use the collar, Aries would come inside, that's the name of my male Doberman, by the way, would come inside and the collar would go off, alerting that he's, you know, going outside the boundary. And it's not supposed to do that because I had the fencing lines clearly drawn out. But since I have such a heavy tree canopy, it couldn't really tell. There wasn't enough drop off on that GPS signal for it to know exactly where he was. So I countered that by using the beacon. And the beacon has two different capabilities. The first is to just keep your dog out of a room in general. Put it in a bathroom. You don't want your dog drinking out of the toilet bowl. Set it in the bathroom. It'll work just like a virtual fence outside. It'll keep your dog out of the bath. Or you can set it up so that it deactivates the dog's collar as long as the dog is within that area. So what I do is I set up the beacon next to my sliding glass. When Aries comes in, I have it set. You can set it for it's spherical, the radius of it. And you can set it from 1 feet all the way up to 15 feet. I set it right at the sliding glass door where the GPS signal can still come into the house away. And it just immediately cuts off his collar as soon as he comes in. So no big deal, and it's a tiny little piece of thing, so I basically set it right up on top of the railway on my curb. Now that's a con. There's no getting around that. I had to think outside the box to take care of that situation because the Halo 3 collar does not have a forest mode. Well, that's it. Halo collar and the SpotOn. That's a good solid overview for both of them. Like I've said, if you have any comments about either one of these, any kind of questions you want to ask, feel free. I will get to you. It may take a day or two, but I endeavor to always get on there and answer any comments or questions that any of you have. So feel free to do that. And also, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. I have got a ton of stuff, testing stuff that I'm going over and I'm going through, and I want to review it and give you the data on it, break it down. A lot of this stuff is really cool, and the thing is I get these products and I actually use them. I have 2 dogs, got a cat. I'm going to use these products. Unlike a lot of people who just basically research it on the web and write up a review about it, I'm going to physically use them, and I will point out a detailed breakdown, pros and cons and everything, so that you can make the most informed decision for your pet.